All right, let me make sure I'm still in. All right, perfect. Okay, so looks like I'm in and I am seeing this screen, but what you need to see is that screen. All right, here we go. Let's see. I'm live streaming right now because I'm going to play this actually. Here we go. Let's see. I'm trying to bypass some problems that I'm having here. And I want to demonstrate what the new horizon looks like with Facebook. And so I'm trying to screen share something and it's doesn't like it. It wants me to just be on a large screen. So I'm going to give it a second. There we go. Perfect. It does look like I got it now. And then I'm going to share this live stream in our Twitter chat. So that way people can join in and see exactly what's happening right now. So here we go. All right, if you're joining in watching this live, I'm going to demonstrate some of the new features and how I can use my computer and interact in this space. So everything's going to be a little bit slower, probably a little choppy, but I think you'll get the point. It'll be fun. Perfect. All right. All right. And as I go through and do this, hopefully I'll be able to crop this out, this beginning part of this out on the final live. Right now, not everybody will be able to see this unless you happen to be live. All right, Horizon. Workroom. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So let me go ahead and tweet that out so that people can jump in. And I'm going to go directly into VR and have a chance to be able to see this in virtual reality because I'll actually be able to see my screen inside my app. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and say, all right, perfect. So I'm back in my space here. I'm going to resume. Okay, so it does want to use my hands. I actually have my workspace here. Right now I have my keyboard. I also have Bluetooth mouse and my computer is actually up in front of me, above me, sitting up for my screen, which is so crazy because I can actually see myself here on the outside because I'm streaming right now through Zoom and live streaming over to YouTube and then taking that YouTube and bringing that over to Twitter. So if you're watching this, this is nuts. So what I'm going to do here, since I can actually see my computer in VR, is I'm going to go ahead and go over to the hashtag arvrnedu.com or arvrnedu. There we go. Now, if I had my computer down, I wouldn't need this keyboard. And I'm actually quite tempted to do that. I think I might. Let me make sure I got this in my space. Oh, look at that. So if you've noticed here, I have been able to, You can see the pass-through is what it's referenced as, is essentially going from, this is kind of trippy here, but augmented reality, I'm able to see through my cameras here on the outside of my headset. And the pass-through is that I can still see what's going on outside of that. And it's actually picking up and identifying that I am on my computer. This is my computer here. And then on the VR side, it's turning me into virtual reality avatar here with my hands. It's picking up my hands, which is kind of crazy how much I can do. Like I was, it's pretty quick, pretty well aligned. So very, very cool. And I just want to make sure, yes, everything is being tracked there. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to latest. And then I'm able to interact if anybody is watching this live. I'm actually curious. Oh, there's Linda here. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, hello, Linda. All right, and then I'm going to make sure I use, if you've never done a Twitter chat before, this is the perfect time to join. Always use that hashtag every response, and you'll be able to see then everybody's reactions and responses here. And it will just essentially update as it goes. So here I am in this workspace. I'm going to show you some of the features here, but I am going to be watching, of course, your reactions and responses here on my computer. Up here, I actually did this on this spot right here. Gives me the flexibility. I'm going to bring in my remote here. You can see I've grabbed the remote instead of just using my hand. But right here is my desk whiteboard. And then this is the pass-through. So if you want to see what I see, this is actually my computer right here that it's given me. Here's my mouse. There's my phone, I think, or no, that's a piece of paper. And so here's the other remote. And so that remote here is something that I could do, but when I'm not using pass-through, it essentially has changed. It's identifying where it's located here. So you can see that it's changed exactly where my computer is based upon me moving it. I can also not use the remotes and I can just use my hands. So, oh, didn't like that. So here we go. Let's see if I can get my hands showing up here. Really just, I'm going to put these kind of far away because it just does not like that. All right, here we go. Okay, so you can see the spot here with the pass through. You can see my computer is actually here, but there's kind of this transition over to virtual reality instead of augmented reality, but this is my computer. And so I can then actually have my computer is right now remoted into virtual reality. So instead of being stuck in VR and not having any clue what's happening on my computer, what you end up doing is you kind of go like this and you start looking to see. Whereas when I'm in VR now inside of the Workrooms, then I can actually come in here and participate and scroll through and see what's going on. And I'm just going to refresh this page here. See if there's been any updates to this. And there's Dr. Harvey. What's up? Okay, what's so crazy is to actually see like my hands and then my hands. Like, how weird is that? Like, whoa. Okay. And actually, let me go ahead and grab my remote here. It just fell. Here it is. All right. So I can come over here, and I was showing this a little bit earlier, but I can come over here and I can actually switch my monitor. So if I want to switch out what I have up here, which was my whiteboard, I made that, uploaded a photo from my computer into VR because I'm remoted in, and then created this content here. So because of that, I can actually switch my monitors. I have not been able to figure out that monitor yet. I did see somebody actually use that with video chat. So I'm guessing that that probably has something to do with it. I just haven't figured it that far out yet. I can screen share different things that I want to have up here, so I can switch over which monitors, which I found out is my extended desktop. I was wondering about that earlier. Make sure it's still running. Yep. And be able to take some screenshots and things of that sort. So my computer just went dark here because of the time of night. It is getting later, so it's in that dark mode. But here we are. I can come on here and I can actually interact. There we go. I can interact inside of the chat. And Dr. Harvey, you might be listening to this right now, I'm guessing. But here we are. I'm just going to go ahead and say, all right. And I'm going to make sure to include the hashtag, of course, so that everybody can see the response here. So there we go. Okay, perfect. All right, and I do see some other AR, VR, and EDU friends joining in. You can see David Lockett. David, I was literally just talking about you on a video just a second ago. And so welcome, David. I was talking about in spatial, how we got on in that virtual space. Oh, did that not send? See if that sends that time. And I'm going to go ahead and just respond like I normally do. So you guys are probably always like, what is Jamie doing when she does this chat every week? This is what I do. I'm just excited to see everyone. Okay, so try to recognize everybody joining in on the chat. And sometimes we have people that are watching, but don't feel quite comfortable with joining in, which is totally fine. So it's kind of crazy to get the behind the scenes here, but it's very cool to be able to have a Twitter chat and not have to come out of this and to be able to go back and forth. So here we go. Now you get to learn a little bit about the space that I've learned about today. And so inside of here, I'm going to actually take my computer and I'm going to move it up. Let's see. I'm going to bring my screen down because there we go. Okay, I'm still here. All right, so on my computer, I am still live streaming perfect inside the space, and I'm going to take this remote. So my right remote, I'm actually going to come over here and I'm going to tap what I want to work on. About my notebook so I can fully tap here. Let's see if it lets me. There we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and set up our whiteboard. And now I'm going to do a little bit of drawing here. This is so crazy because I can see what's on YouTube. I can see right here what's on here, and then behind that is even what's on Twitter. Crazy. All right, so it wants to actually track this and do that full circle, which I've done. All right. I'm gonna just show you that I can draw. I can come over here and I can erase. What am I doing? I'm using my remote in the bottom portion of my remote to actually draw and create this space. So I'm going to come over here to pan and I'm able then to move. And as you can see up here is where I was my screen. So it's the screen of wherever I was writing, but I'm going to go ahead and just choose eraser here. Oh, I thought I was going to be able to pull off the whole smartboard tricks. Okay. Again, I mentioned that I brought in this image here. This image was brought in by my computer. I can actually go in and load in those. Let me go ahead and make sure I'm seeing a live chat. So if anybody has any questions, this is the time to ask because I'm ready to show it to you. And you're welcome to join me. If you happen to have an Oculus Quest 2, which I know David Lockett has one, but it may not be charged, you're welcome to join in here with me. So if you're watching and you want to join in the space, it's an empty space. I'd love for you to join. I did put out the link out there, and I know that there's kind of a process to get this installed on your device and going through in the setup. So that might be where you get stuck, which is totally fine. We could try to do this later, but here we are. I'm going to come back over here to the to the workspace here, the whiteboard. All right, let's see. There we go. And I can come over here and change my colors. So I'm going to align my blue a little bit with my blue. So if I want to come over here and just show, maybe I'm dealing with anatomy of the body, and I'm having a student go in and label different aspects of the heart. And maybe they have to come over here and label that. In my case, I can then tie this into, let's see if I can get this going again. There we go. Maybe I want to say you have to go in and label different aspects of this. And then that's going to be something that shows up, because right now I have that up on the board. This one is tricky. If I go a little bit too fast, I notice that it has a hard time picking this up. But the reason what I think happens is it feels the vibration of it going down first, but then sustaining. Oh yeah, I did it pretty good, but I was really intentional on that one. All right. And so then you can come over here and let's see, that's pretty precise. I mean, I feel like I'm really able to stay in a very specific area as I'm drawing in here. And to be able to do that with this kind of precision and movement is pretty impressive. Look at that. That's pretty great. Okay. So as I do that, I can also insert images. Again, I told you that I have already had one of these images that I was just doing as demo, but if I wanted to, I can come over here and it will just say plus, and will actually have me add images into this space so that I can use it. I'm not going to confuse my computer any more than it needs to be right now, but this is so I can come in here and upload it from Dropbox or even my Google Drive or my computer. I can have in here a chat. So if I want to be able to chat with a team right now, I can do that. And I can say, let's see, I've moved everything out of the way so that I can have the full space. And so that will give me a chance to come in here and have any type of questions, just like you would on a Zoom or Google Meet or Teams or wherever you're meeting up. You can also come over here and schedule your meetings. You can join a room in VR. And then you can also check out your teammates. So adding some files, links, any notes, all of those things can all be interacted in here together as a group inside of your team. And so when you start thinking about, like, what does this mean in a classroom situation? I would say that this is probably most appropriate at higher ed today. Secondary is going to be more challenging. I think these need to be individual devices. I think if we're going to be talking about virtual reality in the classroom, it really needs to be something that's scalable. And in K-12, that's just going to be very difficult. There's a lot of issues bringing this type of technology into the classroom today. There's just even privacy, right? So we've got privacy concerns. Let me go ahead and move that. Let's see. Oh, let me move it that way. There we go. So you have concerns with the fact that you have Facebook that has to be the account in order to have an Oculus running. That was definitely a worry for students. So that's something that has to be considered. You also have the consideration of something around their nose, eyes, mouth, ears. So really thinking about this as an individual device instead of a shared device, which is typically the case. So whose account does this set up as opposed to being able to roll this out with one single account, the management of these devices. So there's a lot of practicality involved with this and how you would roll something like this out. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that it has to be very targeted and specific for something like this to work. But at the higher ed level, I think that this is certainly something that can be doable right now. People can have a Quest that they use for classroom discussions and engagement and interactions. You know, if you wanted to bring in, even if we are virtual in some sense, in many of the situations in higher ed, if they are meeting virtually, they can, you know, bring in that human cadaver and have it sitting here and going through and dissecting and understanding the anatomy of the body. So I think that all of those things are possibilities. And as an individual adult, I think that opens up some opportunities that may be more problematic when you're dealing with students in the K-12 side. Secondary would probably be the closest fit at this moment, in my opinion. But all right, so if you're trying to figure out what in the world's going on here, I'll just give you a little bit of a background. Right now, I'm in Horizon, which is Facebook's new Workrooms. And in these Workrooms, basically you can have collaboration with your team. You can invite people in. So on here, I can actually come in to here and invite people into my workroom and add individuals. This is kind of over on the side. So I can add people here. I did not see any people. So everybody I tried to type in just they haven't started that account yet. So that's completely fine. I mean, David's on here, so I'll just check one more time just to prove that I really am looking because we are connected on Oculus too. Nope. So adding those people in here is something they would all have to individually set up and get set up for this meeting space. But once it's in it, you know, for me to be able to jump back in was super easy, convenient, understandable. I think that there's going to be, you know, the first get through, understand, and then the learning curve, I think, is going to be pretty small. There's, you know, just really cool stuff going on here to engage with. I do think that there's great opportunity to actually see people's faces here. I can get up and have, this is something that, let's see, here we go. So I can actually, let me change seats here so you can see that I can move. I can also change my scene. So if I want to change up the scene to have better collaboration, I can do that. I can change, let's see. There's conversations for discussions. There's even presentations. If I want to present from here and invite people into that, I can do that. Pretty cool. I also, coming back to this, this is the desk whiteboard, but that is something that if I wanted to switch that up, let's see, let's go ahead and create a new whiteboard here. I can do that as well. Let's see, I have done that. There we go. So I can reset my whiteboard, and basically instead of having this on the ground, I can actually set it up on the wall if I want to walk over to it. There we go. There it is. Now this is kind of dangerous. You can see the pass through here. Let's see, I think because I'm just, let me try that again. It's bringing me out of my boundary. Let's see if it will let me grab it. There we go. Yes, confirm position. There we go. Just really wants to bring me back to my desk. All right, when I say confirm, yeah, it wants me to. All right, let's see. Go to whiteboard. Okay, hopefully I don't fall. And now, obviously, this is not the wise thing to do here. I'm going to come over here. This certainly feels a lot more natural. Let's see. Okay, so it's actually how far I'm going into this. Instead of holding something down to draw, it's actually being able to, so let me go ahead and erase. It's just proximity. All right, so I come over here and just by going through this whiteboard is allowing me, which is kind of neat because when you think about a pen and you think about, you know, grabbing a pen and putting it into something, it's going to draw. So, I mean, that's essentially what you're doing here. So here we go. I got that whiteboard and I can add my image. There we go. And I can reposition that image. So I just clicked up here and on the side. It's really having a hard time with my hand. So I'm not holding the other remote, but okay. I think that will help. All right. And I can come in here and actually download whatever I have created or export that out. So if there's something I'm like, you know, that turned out really cool, let me go ahead and this is my active, let me export that out. Let me open up the other one because I thought that was really cool. So here we go. And you can see again, the opportunity. I mean, this is a pretty large board. If it's an open space, I can see really coming over here and you know, doing a whole math lesson and really just going through and actively participating with my students, walking up to them, seeing them. Like you can see right here, if I want to go stand in a different spot, and it might give me an option here, so I can place that there. If I just want to point, like, hey guys, look over here. So you see this? We're gonna go to AR, VR, and EDU today. Woohoo! So there we go. I'm gonna try to point back. Might just really want to use that one. And then what I'm going to do is try to just go back to my desk. And there we go. You can now see my view. Try not to roll over my dog. All right, you can see my view here. Put that there. I'm going to bring this back down. Perfect. And then I'm going to continue to use my desk. Here I am. I'm back in VR. I can, again, go back through the pass-through. If I want to see what that looks like, I can bring my computer back. I then can also continue writing and drawing and push that out. If I don't want to stand up and go over there, I can actually just have it written here and brought over to the front of the room. So that is that. There is so much to it. This is my avatar. So as I'm talking, you can come and see me here. I can also come over here and edit my avatar. Let me go back to my computer because I want to check out and see if anybody's had any questions or comments here. on Twitter. And again, my computer's probably like, Jamie, what in the world's going on here? Like you're in virtual reality. You are sharing your screen from virtual reality onto your computer. So you're screen sharing from VR to a computer. And then I'm also coming over here and I am going into Zoom, screen sharing what I have in Zoom of that screen, which you guys see on YouTube right now. And then that screen also is live streaming to YouTube. And I took the YouTube link. This is crazy. This is like a major workaround because they won't let me live stream this. So I said, oh yeah, well, I'm going to live stream this. So then just took this link from YouTube and then pasted this into Twitter. So talk about a workaround. All right. So with that being said, let me go ahead and close that out. I just wanted to make sure if there's anybody else that had any questions, and I don't think so. Perfect. And I do believe it is still streaming live. Yes. Perfect. So we capture this, so we'll give you a chance to go back and just get the concepts here of what are we talking about when you're looking at these new virtual reality spaces. And inside of here too, I think having customized spaces is going to be essential because you're going to probably want to have a place that's not so set in stone like what they give you, although that's kind of cool. And surprisingly, I can actually see the steam coming out of that building and around me. So it's moving. So I can get up, walk around, and actually see what is going on in this room. I really like that. And look at that. That deer has a VR headset on. That is great. All right. So this is Workroom by Horizon and Facebook in a nutshell. I think that there's great possibilities. I think it's going all in the right direction. And I think that I'm excited to see what they have next. And to see this in beta, I think is pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to be the next step. So there we are, 45 minutes of crazy AR, VR, and ADU. I was showing this earlier in my video. It was like, how does it know that my fingers are crossed? Like, how crazy is that? Like, that's just strange. Anyways, it like wants to pick up one or the other. It's like, whoa, 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 what are you crossing for? But anyways, all right, guys, have a great night. There goes my arm. And let me stop screen sharing here. Perfect. And thank you so much for joining in this crazy, I don't know, experiment, if you will, of virtual reality, live streaming, Twitter chat, craziness. We're always doing something crazy, aren't we?